everyone. This is the artist formerly known as the Great Roberto. I'm gonna fix my chair. Today I want to talk about something that is really important, I think, and that is its two cornerstones of power. I'll get into the rest of the cornerstones later once I have them ironed out a little better, but two of these cornerstones, one of them is the practice of a daily seated mindfulness meditation, what I call zero-point mindfulness meditation. There's actually a video that I may even attach to this just to show you what that is. And the other thing is psychedelic exploration. Now, it's funny that I say that because I never would have imagined myself talking like this, even, maybe 4 or 5 short months ago. I never would have imagined using psychedelics. And real quickly before I continue, I just want to make a disclaimer that anything I say in this video may or may not be a work of fiction. But I never would have imagined myself doing psychedelics on any level at all, because I mean, as a young kid, I did psychedelics, but that would mainly be blood or LSD, and the trips were whatever they were. They were minor trips, really. Even some of the ones I thought that may have been intense back then were nothing compared to recent adventures I've gone on. Because as a kid, a teenager kid, I could take LSD and still function, and still do things, But when you get into the realm of high doses of mushrooms and DMT, it's a whole different game. It's a different ballpark. But I want to tell you, because in a recent excursion with Dimitri, if it wasn't for the fact that I've been, deeply involved in a daily meditation practice for years now, I would have been ripped apart in there. That's how intense it was. And I was thinking about it even days later. It's been days since I came back from this thing, and I still find myself periodically in moments of just complete astonishment, like, what the fuck was that type of thing? Even the mushroom trip, as intense as it wasn't, after a couple of days went by, I was fine. There wasn't no repeated astonishment, but after that DMT experience, my God, it just, what happened in there, it just was absolutely, like, mind enhanced. It's like, it's like now, it's like I have this secret. You've always wished for a secret that you want to tell someone, but the fact is, nobody will believe you. Nobody could believe you until you go there yourself. It's sort of like knowing the secrets of the universe, but no one believes what you say. It's like one of those movies. You ever seen a movie where the person's going around like a lunatic, trying to warn people of something, or trying to give them this information, and nobody's listening to them, no one wants to hear it. It's kind of like that, but the difference is I'm not going to run around like a lunatic, because why, And that's one of the things about meditation that's so important. Especially, my zero-point mindfulness meditation, it teaches you to ride the wave of impulse. It specifically teaches you to feel the impact of impulse in the way that it affects you in the moment. So it conditions you for shit like this. And then when you explore the psychedelic realm, which is like, oh my God. And if you're not grounded with a skill like meditation, especially, my zero-point mindfulness meditation, you're going to go fucking crazy. It's like going into a raging ocean storm with a boat that has no rudder or engine. It's like you're just going to be tossed around like a cork. You're going to have no ability to be able to manage what goes on in there. And I actually made a video, a trip report, right after I came back from the meeting with the meeting with Dimitri, and I really should have waited maybe a day to make that report, because I mean, it just, you know, the things I pulled out of it, it took me like, you know, sleeping on it the next day, sleeping on it at night, and then the next day before I really realized what the fuck I pulled out of it, because it was just crazy. I mean, some details, I mean, it just, you can't really comprehend, but I mean, and you know, one of the things about it is, I don't really believe that you need to be able to consciously be able to recall what happens in there. Subconsciously, you will get the message. You know it's in there. You know it's there, even if you can't explain it, even if you can't remember what the fuck happened in there. You know it's in there subconsciously, because it is. I mean, you know it is, and the things that come out of it, and that's where the astonishment comes from. You know, it's sort of like almost like a subconscious astonishment that sort of boils over into the conscious realm every now and then, because that's what it's like. So every now and then I'll just think, I'm like, what the fuck happened in there? That's how crazy it was. And but you know, getting back to the point of the video, I think if you're going to be a psychedelic explorer, and that is exactly what it is, you are exploring not only the final frontier, but the unknowable frontier. This is you're exploring realms that, I mean, infinite realms. There is no boundary in there. There is no time in there. There is no anything in there. And that's why, you know, when I came back, when I was starting to come back here, I was so fucking grateful to be back. I was like, oh, thank God, thank God. You know, the mundane was beautiful. Just to be back in a familiar place, it's like, oh my God, thank God. My life is fucking gorgeous. I love it. And it's like, you know, just to, you know, be able to breathe, you know, just to active breathing. It's like, oh, thank God, thank God. It was just to be able to know where I was and know what was going on. It was just such a blessed gift. And I remember at one point, as coming out of it in the transition, I was just like, oh, thank you for the beautiful message. Thank you. That was so beautiful, but it was also terrifying on some levels. You know, in every time, so far, both times I've come back from the trip, as they say, I swore I would never do it again. You know, and even this time with the DMT, I was like, I think I'm all set with psychedelics for a while. I said that, but that's just because, you know, the intensity of it, just the outright bizarreness of it. And on one hand, it is something that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I wouldn't, you know, I would, you know, to tell someone to go do this, it's like, on one hand, I was like, I would never do that to somebody because it's so goddamn, it's almost like a cruel joke. But then on the other hand, I want everyone to do it because it's such a, you know, eye-opening, enlightening experience. And I think that's where daily meditation misses the fucking, or the perception of daily meditation misses the boat. I think meditation, daily meditation, is only a tool. You know, that's why I call it 0 point, because it is the 0 point. It makes every aspect of life better. Anything you want to do in life, 0 point mindfulness meditation is the 0 point, and it makes everything better. It's teaching you how to manage the empty spaces. It's teaching you how to, you know, work with the space between manifestation, and it's teaching you to be able to ride the wave of impulse. It's teaching you to be able to ride the wave of uncertainty, to ride life. It's teaching you, you're basically surfing life, the waves and uncertainty of life, and that's what you learn how to do in meditation. And it keeps you grounded, it keeps you centered, it keeps you focused. It teaches you to become aware of what, as they say, the watcher within. So then, when you decide to be a psychedelic pioneer, and believe me, if you take psychedelics, you are going to be a pioneer, because the realms are so vast and it's so unknowable. I mean, God knows what the limits are, if there are any. But it teaches you, when you're in that realm, to be center to be grounded, because it's crazy in there. And I do wonder if the intensity of the experiences is because the reason I had the intensity of the experiences both times is because of the fact that I do meditate on a daily basis, and whatever powers that be out there know I can take it. Because it was crazy. I mean, I swear to you, it took everything that I had to be able to keep from losing my mind in there. That's how intense it was, and it's just fucking nuts both times. The difference between so far the two trips, the mushroom trip was like rich and beautiful, especially the beginning. The mushroom trip was rich, vibrant, beautiful, beyond any comprehension of beauty that you could ever imagine in this world. And then the end of it got insane. But then again, I mean, it was just, you know, that was my first time being in that realm, and maybe coming out of it, it was insane though. Believe me, it was pure insanity. But it was different. The DMT experience wasn't beautiful at all. It wasn't even fucking really good. It was just so bizarre. As you know what I mean? It wasn't bad and it wasn't good. It was just fucking bizarre. But it certainly wasn't beautiful. You know, it was just fucking bizarre. The most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my life. And as I stated in the other video, once you got there, as soon as you get there, and anyone who's taken DMT knows what that means, once you get there, you know that you've been there before. And I remember clearly this part, it's like, I was in there, I was like, I've been here billions of times before, and I can't fucking believe this. I can't believe I'm here again. I can't believe I forgot the fact that I'm here, and I've been here countless times before, millions and billions, an infinite number of times. And it was just so obvious. It was just so like, oh my god, I can't fucking believe this. Here I am again. It's like, it's just sort of like something that repeats itself over and over and over again. It's like, oh god. And you know, and then it of course does what it does. And as I mentioned in the other trip, there was one point where it got dark, real dark. There was I hate to use the word, but an evil energy in there. And it again, this is where the composure of meditation comes in, because I didn't freak out. I just sort of relaxed into it and called it beautiful, and then it just went away. But I've been hearing this a lot lately of people having DMT or ayahuasca experiences, and they've encountered an evil, what they term an evil entity, and there is certainly something in there that is dark, something dark, but again, it's going to take further exploration to know exactly what that is and and all that. But yeah, so the theme of this video is the importance, if you're going to be a psychedelic explorer, a psychonaut, I really, really, really highly recommend that you practice a disciplined, daily, seated meditation practice. And watch my video, and it'll tell you how to do that. And do it basically, I mean, obviously you can do anything you want to do, but I think that's a must if you want to be a psychedelic explorer, because otherwise you're going to, one of these days, you're going to go in there and you're going to fucking wish you were, you know. But